Hey, yo, welcome back to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. My name is Ronald Two Legs, and as always, I am joined by AIW owner John Thorne. What's going on, Thorne?
What's up? It's I don't know. I think I gotta schedule things a little better. You know, if we're gonna work in these Thursdays, these back-to-back weeks is it's a lot of pressure. It feels like.
It was it's been an interesting weekend. I had a lot of things going on, so we did wrestling Thursday, then we did some wrestling stuff Friday. I had some stuff going on Saturday. It's been a long couple days for sure.
Yeah, I mean the Thursdays are nice, and then also kind of hard all at the same time. You know what I mean? Like difficult because a lot of us do have to go to work on Friday, so it does make things a little tricky. But yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk about the Thursday a little bit. Obviously was not as successful as the first one. Leap was kind of a just astounding success. I guess you could say it over-delivered, on all expectations.
Yeah.
So last Thursday was kind of, that back to reality moment, I think. I think we were at least 100 less than we had in February. So, obviously trending downward like that is not where we want to be. So the Cybernetico is going to be the last Thursday for a while, until we can, figure out what a good formula is for these.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt a little less full in there, but I still think it was a good time. I really like that building. I just think that it's got a lot of potential, you know what I mean? But if unfortunately it's not filled, you're not going to get the same sort of atmosphere. But I think it has so much potential in that back room, you know what I mean? I think it's a great area. I don't know if it was just lack of ticket sales on, people's parts on the show, or if people, just were busier this Thursday, or really what kind of caused it, or like you said, having, a back-to-back show, do you think having a bigger Akron show this week kind of affected that? Maybe because I don't think there was as many regulars as we normally see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, it's, we could sit here and we can try to, gauge all these metrics and, what we think and all that stuff. But, at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is, there were at least 100 less people in that building than there were when we were there before. So, that's not good. And, I get it. The majority of the card is these kind of underutilized people coming out of the academy that may not be as enticing, for people to come out and watch, as far as the regular AIW fan base is concerned. We did try something else, by, throwing, a women's match on there. We had Swoggle on there, Zaya Brookside, Jocelyn. We had the intergender tag match. We did throw, a lot of what I thought were pretty good, marquee things in there to kind of also, complement the fact that the majority of the card was, a lot of the homegrown people out of the academy. And I mean, it just did not keep at the same level as the Leap show. We obviously wanted to do the Cybernetico again. There's going to be storyline implications and all that stuff. Like we've done before, where the winner of the Cybernetico is going to get the absolute title shot at Gauntlet for the Gold. So we certainly wanted to do that just for storyline purposes. And then we're going to cool off until, maybe the fall or winter to try it again on a Thursday.
This is Cybernetico Trace is going to be my third. That'll be my first third show that I've done. I'm coming up on like 50 something shows with
Well,
the IW.
it's like probably one of the newer, annual type of events, So
Yeah.
I don't know. That one was, kind of, it fell victim to, we couldn't get it confirmed right until Leap did good. And then they gave us 2 more dates, you know what I mean? And then, it's just, I think these shows just kind of wound up too close to each other on the schedule, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If, in a perfect world, we would do February and we would do May, but that's just not the way it worked out. Negotiating with the venue and scheduling things, and what they wanted and what we were trying to do. So yeah, we're gonna back off the Thursdays for now, and see if we can kind of wrangle things back in, and keep things trending upwards, like the Temple has been trending upwards every time we've gone there, it seems, since the fall. So we definitely want to keep that either level or positive momentum when we see that big drop off like that. It's kind of makes you reevaluate everything.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a good show, and like you said, unfortunately, it was a drop off. But I mean, there was a lot of positives to the show. Did you like the Swoggle entrance?
Yeah, I was a little caught off guard by that.
Yeah,
because I was like, hey, maybe you could sing Country Grammar or something at the end of the night. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. That's only for Wale Mania.
Yeah, so I asked him about it when he got there. I go, all right, clue me in. I I didn't know you were a big karaoke guy. Are you not? Like, what happened? How did that come about, And he's like, he goes, I actually don't like karaoke at all. He goes, I never sing it. He goes, I just walked in and they kind of just like made me. He's like, the guy pointed at me. He's like, come on. I was like, no. He tried to like not, get up there, but the guy kind of just like talked him into it in so many words, I guess. Like, he just kind of like, come on, and he went for it. But yeah, he was like, we're not, because they have karaoke at the Mercury Music Lounge. So I go, after this, come on, we're going to do karaoke. And he's like, absolutely not, absolutely no chance. He goes, can you do something for me? I go, yeah, what do you want? He goes, can you do something without Thorne finding out? I go, oh, gee, like, so I didn't know what. I go, what? I go, don't get me killed here or nothing, He goes, no. He goes, can you edit together so it's like my normal hornswoggle, that part, and then cut into Country Grammar? I'm like, yeah, I can just, edit together a GarageBand thing for whatever, and I'll just do it. He's walking around. I go, he won't see me. I'll take care of it. But yeah, and then I was waiting for it all day just to see your face. It was really good. I think I watched it back too. We saw some of the footage on Chase's computer the other day on Friday, and everyone was like, oh, they were all excited when it hit. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like the shows are fun and it's a great atmosphere, and I think, they do serve their purpose in getting those kids some work and stuff like that. But, if we're not getting, the support out there, because, the venue, is very kind of, I guess case by case as far as wrestling. They had some bad experiences, in the last couple of years. And, it's very much, a case-by-case thing. So, we have to deliver to them. And, if we're not delivering, on our end of the deal, it's like that with all these venues. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so, everything is just kind of so touch and go. They're not totally upset with us per se, but, they did, mention that there were less people. They did notice that there were less people in there than when we were there in October and in February. So that's just never a good, that's never a good conversation, because you want to kind of, have that equity built up with the venues and things like that. So, I mean, maybe it was just a fluke thing, and maybe Cybernetico, does gangbusters numbers and all that stuff. But even so, we're going to back off a little bit, especially with summer coming up, and, just competition is just so much greater, in the summertime anyway. So, we're just going to kind of back off regardless until the fall or the winter, and then hopefully we can kind of really plan plan these things out to where it's it works better with the schedule overall.
Right. Well, looking forward, we do have a show this week in Akron at the Tadmor Shrine. We will be bringing to Akron this week when the smoke clears this Saturday, 420 in Akron. All kinds of stuff announced for this show. If you want to get into this card a little bit, John, I'm really excited for this show. We had some
hard sell it, so to speak.
I don't see how we're hard selling it with this card. Personally, just there's so many things on the card I think that are jump out at me. I mean, the absolute title match is going to be insane. You got a match of a lifetime with Bane and Bishop. You got Spectral Envoy coming in. You know what I mean? Derek. I think it's just it is. We've been talking about it a lot. The further we kind of have gotten out of the pandemic, the more we've seen, the pre-sale tickets come week of. You know what I mean? To where like there's just more going on. This is our first time going into Akron without a advertised big like legend meet and greet. So, we were aware it was a little risky. I mean, right now, it doesn't look too good. But I'm trying to maintain my positivity that I've been, trying to keep on this podcast for the last few weeks. But it is, it's a big risk. It's a big experiment. Trying to go at it without a big legend or a big, meet and greet person, and it was just kind of one of those things to where we saw, Terror at the Temple and Tougher Than Leather, really just like get these huge, kind of crowd numbers that we haven't seen in a very long time. And Akron has always been consistently pretty big. So, I thought it was the perfect time to, let's see if we can, do it on our own, so to speak. And, so far not looking so good. We have, when I woke up, I actually woke up today, we had like a refund requests, for front row tickets. So that's never a good sign. And then, we still have second and third row and a shit ton of GA left. So, usually around this time, the week of an Akron show, we're well into, 200-300 pre-sold, and we're at like 100 right now. So, that is certainly not the best analytics or stats to go into, the show this week, but we still have several days. Hopefully there's a big run on stuff. Yeah, I mean, we always have a pretty big week of in Akron, and walk up especially too. I think since the pandemic, walk up has been just a big one as far as how people spend their money and how early they've been doing it and yada yada. But questions as far as meet and greet wise, do you think Ultramantis would be doing a meet and greet? Is that something he would be doing? You think, or just kind of
I don't know. I'm gonna
merch table type deal?
I'm gonna have to talk to his booking agent Diamond Joe and see what his plans are. He is certainly doing less and less indie dates, especially outside of LVAC, and he's traveling less and less every year too. So this was certainly a it was a tough situation with Frightmare getting hurt the week of the pretty much the week of the show.
Yeah,
and it was. Thankfully, Ultramantis Black did offer to step up and step in for Frightmare, which is, anytime you have a chance, these days to see Ultramantis Black, I have to encourage everybody to do it, because you just never know when the last time he's going to come to AIW is going to be. You know what I mean? Like I've thought it was his last time every single time that he's come in. So it's always kind of a super rare treat when you can get Ultramantis Black to agree to come in and show up. And he is just one of those just legends of independent wrestling, and just has an incredible legacy with everything he's done. So I'm super pumped that he agreed to come in. As far as him, working the merch tables and things like that, I don't know. I can't totally answer that right now, but I would think he would. He was always a really awesome merch guy.
Yeah.
So I would think that he's gonna come merched up. But yeah, I mean, any chance you have to see Ultramantis Black, especially outside of that, central western, Pennsylvania area, it's super super rare.
I want to say he did 4 dates in 2023. I think it was 4. I know he did maybe a couple more if I'm just misremembering some of the LVAC dates, but I know for a fact I want to say he did like 2 outside of LVAC.
He's doing he's doing less and less outside of LVAC shows. Thankfully, we do have a bit of history with him, and
former champ.
Joe Spostos was very integral in this negotiation going through, and Hollow Wicked as well. Everybody was thought that this was pretty much the only replacement that we could have gotten, and everybody worked very hard to make it happen. So I'm just excited about it because not only with Ultramantis Black but Hollow Wicked, he returned pretty much to wrestling. I think at this recording, I think West Coast Pro was like his first booking in quite some time. You'd have to check Cage Match for that, but I am almost positive he has not had like a match in several years. And I know him and Frightmare were, this was supposed to be their big return to independent wrestling coming up on Saturday as a team, and Frightmare unfortunately had to pull out. So Hollow Wicked is another guy that is just, he has been probably one of the most underrated and underutilized talents in independent wrestling for as far back as I can remember, you know what I mean? Into the, early 2000s. He was great, and I'm sure it's no different now. I didn't watch the West Coast Pro stream yesterday, but I have no doubt that Hollow Wicked, probably looked like he hasn't missed a step because he's always been one of the best in-ring performers, in all of independent wrestling. So I'm just super excited, to have both those guys coming in. Obviously, like I said, I can't harp on it enough that it is a super rare appearance for not only Ultramantis Black, but Hollow Wicked as well.
Yeah. Big time shouts to Joe Sposto, great friend of the show, great friend of the promotion. He used to do commentary. Love Joe a lot. He has a podcast called At Odds with Wrestling. If you're missing Joe, you didn't know that he had that, go check him out. Give him and Adam Van a listen. But yeah, major thanks to Joe for helping that out. But Ultramantis, man, it's just like you said, it's just a guy. You have to come and check him out. I mean, the last time we even got him here was under, because he wanted to wrestle Nightmare Freddy. Other than that, I don't think he was coming out. You got to dangle these big fish in front of him to get him out of the the Lehigh Valley area, the Christmas City, and this is one you don't, like you said, it could be his last time every time you see him. So Ultramantis to me is that's all you need on the card to come out and check out this show.
According to his Cage Match, since that match, and I mean obviously Cage Match, who knows if they get everything
right,
but since that Nightmare Freddy match, he has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches.
See, I knew it. And that was how many years? So that was even half of 2022, right? Or is that 23?
That was in August of 2022.
See? So 7 matches since 22. I knew it was like under 5 a year. Like, he does not get out. So, I mean, if you're an old school fan, then, because like I said, former absolute champ, Ultramantis Black. If you've been wondering where he's been or you haven't seen him, now's your chance to come on out and check him out, because God only knows when we're going to, when we will get the great and devious one back in AIW ring.
Like I said, this could be totally wrong. You know what I mean? I am by no means keeping statistics on Ultramantis Black. I'm just going off his Cage Match.
Sure.
But, according to Cage Match, he had only 2 matches in 2023. And one was LVAC and one was for Time Bomb.
Yep. Yeah, that does not surprise me at all. Guy makes extremely rare appearances. So, like I said, and I mean, the match, to get into the match, if we might as well start there, the 4-way tag match that he's involved in. I mean, we've talked about, some of these tag teams in the highest order. You got Spectral Envoy, which is Hollow Wicked and Ultramantis Black, going up against To Infinity and Beyond, which we've called basically the Triple Crown of AIW tag division at some points on this podcast, versus Bangin' Matthews, an up-and-coming tag that, you and I both have had nothing but high praise for those guys, against Latino's Most Wanted, another tag team that we just, you can't, enough good things can't be said about. This 4-way is going to go absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, putting Ultramantis Black in the middle of this changes a little bit of the dynamics, but not really. You know what I mean? I think this is just... this is one that on paper looks like it's going to go wild, and that's what I anticipate. That's going to be the instruction to everybody, is to just go out there and let it rip. Obviously Latino's Most Wanted have been doing some of the most incredibly innovative and athletic things that anybody's seen. Anybody that's seen their stuff in AIW or Black Label Pro, they just do. Just such, creative things in the ring. Bangin' Matthews obviously are, two of, probably the best tag team prospects going today. Cheech and Colin, obviously, they are, what I feel, in my opinion, the best unsigned tag team in independent wrestling. I mean, I don't think anybody understands the just psychology, just awareness of tag team wrestling, just overall just geniuses when it comes to tag team wrestling. And you have the Spectral Envoy, Hollow Wicked and Ultramantis Black teaming again for the first time in God knows how long, but two just incredibly just talented guys who were both Chikara, the foundation of Chikara, and a lot would say, and just a great kind of all these different kind of generations of tag team wrestling are meeting in this match. You know what I mean? You have the kind of wily veterans in the Spectral Envoy. You have Colin and Cheech, who have kind of been through all of these generations. You have Bangin' Matthews, who are kind of, the modern day, and, you could probably argue that Latino's Most Wanted are the future of tag team wrestling. So there's a lot of kind of, different storylines that are going to cross paths, in this 4-way tag match.
Yeah, I don't really know what else can be said about that one, but man, I'm excited. That's for sure. What a way to start it off, I don't know how you're going to pace these matches, what you're going to put in the order wise. I always am excited to see that, and how I get the cards ahead of time when we do the pod and stuff, and I'm always excited to see how you're going to kind of slot them, because this show especially, there's so many matches that are just...
I have no idea, and it's like, that's why I'm a little concerned about the ticket sales right now, because I feel like this show is kind of like a mid-year absolution in a way. There's just a lot going on this show, a lot of matches that we probably would have saved for an absolution card for, different reasons. We're doing them here in April, and I actually, before we started podcasting, there's a Dropbox with all the graphics in it, and that's kind of the first time I was, I looked at everything, it was like all of it was in front of my face, I mean? Instead of just like being written down. And I just went like, wow, like this show is fucking so loaded. And like, I'm looking at the tickets, I'm like, what the fuck else can we do? You know what I mean? Like,
when you see those graphics compared to just the notes app in your phone, it really like, you're really like, damn, like look at this.
Right. Like that's, that's how I felt. 'Cause it's just like, when you see, like, it's just different when you see it, you know what I mean? Like, all in a row. And, like, I was, like, right before we started podcasting, I looked at it, and I was like, fuck, like, this thing is so fucking loaded. Like, I don't know what's going on with the tickets, because, like, I feel like, I don't know how I'm going to order the show, because, like, there is so much good stuff on it, and so much stuff that has had some build to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Fucking Bane and Bishop could close. Like the dog collar with Magnum and Derek could close. Tyler Jordan and Josh Prohibition, 2 out of 3 falls, like that could close. And then of course Isaiah Broner and Sam Holloway for the Absolute title, that obviously could close. You know what I mean? And there's just
all 4 Abso matches easily.
There's just so much on this show, and like I don't know, like. I hope that I'm just, getting prematurely, nervous about the draw and all that stuff, because like I'm just like, fuck, like this has got to be like the best, like, in ring fucking show that's been put together in quite some time, and it's got every kind of, it's hitting every kind of genre of wrestling throughout it. So like I don't know.
I agree. I was just telling Pod Van Ed the other day, like yesterday, we were talking about it. He had some stuff coming up. He's like, man, I'm really going to try to get there, but I'm not positive yet if I'm going to be able to make it. And I was like, man, this is not one to miss. Like, the entire card is bangers. There is absolutely no, there's no filler match. I mean, even you're going forward, you got another 4-way. This is one that I think is really interesting. Chuck Stone, Tyson Riggs, Mikey Montgomery, and Trey Lamar. That's a 4-way of 4 names, you know what I mean, that you wouldn't normally see on a card in the same, that's one you're not expecting to see. But I think this could have a lot of firepower. You got Tyson coming off a couple really big performances. Chuck Stone is on just a run of a lifetime right now. Mikey's been killing it, and Trey has been back doing his thing. So this is another one that like this could be a great one as well.
Yeah, I think maybe we might have to change his name to Tyson Riggins.
It's from because we're such friggin'
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, we're always talking about Friday Night Lights. I keep thinking that whenever I see his name. Yeah, Riggins, not Riggs.
Tyson Riggins. I know I've been giving him his props a little bit on here, and there's obviously a lot of people missed the show on Thursday because it didn't stream, and obviously there were a ton of regulars that were not in the venue Thursday. Mm-hmm. Tyson Riggs, I tweeted it, and I meant it when I put that match together. Tyson Riggs has been kind of he's been around for a couple of years. He's been been on some pre-shows, had some what I mean, like just no, like not a lot of consistency. And Thursday it was like, let's throw him into the deep end of the pool, that's full of sharks. And, we put him in there with Kaplan, Sam, and Wes, 3 of, arguably the most established guys on the AIW roster. 3, everybody, that comes to AIW shows knows those 3 guys.
Right.
Probably couldn't say that about Tyson Riggs, right? Like he was the odd man out in that whole thing. Mm-hmm. And did he like show out or what on Thursday? Like,
I definitely think he held his own and, silenced some doubters. That's for sure. Anyone who had, maybe wasn't a Tyson Riggins guy, going forward is like, oh, all right, I'll check this guy out. I definitely think he held his own.
Yeah, I mean, was it the star-making performance? Not necessarily, but was it a like, oh wow, like he's not fucking around? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think it was a star-making performance is a tough ladder to climb in that match because you're in there with 3 big stars of this company. But I definitely think people at that show now know who he is, and the next time his music hits or he comes out for a match, they're going to pay attention.
Yeah, and I mean, like, just playing into the, the incident that he had with Kaplan, you know what I mean? He just went right at Kaplan, and it was just, I thought he did great. So, it was like, let's throw him out there again. Let's see what happens with, 3 other guys who, also are 3 big stars in Trey, Mikey, and Chuck Stone. I've been very vocal about, Chuck Stone's just development, since, the late summer. I mean, I think he's just been become a totally different performer. And the confidence is just unmatched. And, Mikey as well, you know what I mean? He has found, he's found himself more and more as he's, ventured into the singles realm. And then, Trey Lamar, who's always been one of the most, talented, solid in-ring performers to ever come out of the AIW Academy. So I think that there's a lot of potential for this 4-way as well.
Yeah. Very excited. Going forward, I don't even know where to go from here. Like you said, there's so many matches, that could be just big-time matches. But we got a 2 out of 3 falls match, Josh Prohibition versus Tyler Jordan. These two have seen a lot of each other in these past handful of shows, had some bangers, and I think this one's going to be the 2 out of 3 falls. We're gonna finally settle this, I believe.
Yeah, and, I do have a little breaking news here on the podcast. I think Josh Prohibition is going to make a point on Saturday to get this out there. But if it does go to 3 falls, the fine print on the contract was that would become a, no rules, no DQ 3rd fall.
Okay, so if they each get a fall, that 3rd one will be anything goes type deal.
Yeah, so, if it's just somebody gets 2 in a row, we're not getting to that. But if it goes 1-1, it's going to be decided and, no DQ, anything goes sort of thing.
Interesting, and that's coming from Josh, huh?
Yeah, that's
interesting.
That's his, he said that's the fine print of the deal there. So, there's a lot of interesting possibilities there, right? These guys have gone out and had, great matches every time that they've touched since Fresh Meat 3. They've had several matches, and each one I think has gotten better at every time. So this is going to kind of be that culmination again. This is like one of those this is a match that should be on an absolution card, in my opinion. Like we've seen this develop since September, and we're going to see it, all come to a head this Saturday. And there's a lot of that on this card, right? Like typically, this time of the year, just kind of like shows and matches, and there's little things happening, but one thing that we really made an effort to do this year, is kind of fill in this time with stuff people can sink their teeth into, so they don't have to wait for absolution season to get, for these storylines to really ramp up. People have been able to see this stuff develop, since, last summer, essentially, since last absolution, we've been developing stuff, and you're going to see a lot of it kind of, blow up here, and then, we have Gauntlet next month in which you'll see a lot of that absolution stuff start to develop.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one to say the least because, you got a guy like Josh who's been around for a long time, as long as anyone in independent wrestling. And, he's kind of Tyler's kind of taking him along here, taking him, I won't say to the limit, but you know what I mean? They've had some bangers, and now Josh is, they're going 2 out of 3, and Josh is even going as far to say, hey, if this gets to 1-1, anything goes. And it's just interesting to see Josh kind of go to that point with Tyler, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's it. There's just, it's just, that age-old story, student versus teacher, young versus old, just, there's just a lot. And, Tyler Jordan is, you want to talk about getting thrown into the deep end of the pool. Nobody coming out of the academy has really been thrown into something like this so soon, so early in their career. The kid's probably had under 20 matches lifetime, and he's, embroiled in this feud.
Yeah.
And that, that goes to, his just overall talent. You know what I mean? Like, I think that maybe some of the AW fan base is not really gone, like, taking a second to step back and look and go, wow, like, he belongs in this spot, because I don't think anyone's thought that he doesn't belong in the spot. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where he's filled the role so well. But I mean, he is still so new. I mean, he debuted in mid-September,
Right.
So like, he is still so new and so young, like just turned 21 years old, like just, so much potential. And then, there's Josh, who's been wrestling since 1999. I mean, it's just, I think it's just kind of an incredible story for those people that want to, that want that sort of thing, right? Like, and if you don't want the stories, it doesn't matter. These guys are going to over deliver, between the ropes on Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, J Pro's not a guy who's going to phone it in any way, and he's not, he's not wrestling Tyler. He's not going to wrestle against a guy that he thinks is going to phone it in. So no matter what, even storyline aside, we're going to see a quite a match on Saturday. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that these two just they've made magic every time, and I think that they really, they really want to do something special on Saturday.
Going forward in the card, this one I'm extremely excited for. I don't think they have seen each other in AIW since the match, but the last time these two went at it was in the Mount Carmel era, at least one-on-one. I could be wrong here, but we're going to get the Bone Collector, Dom Greeny, versus Filthy Tom Lawler. And if I'm correct, the last time these two faced each other, Filthy broke his arm over Dom's skull.
This was definitely like one that we saw, a few absolutions ago, and you may be right. Like I said, we should have Wadsworth on, as like a little, like at least in the chat when we're recording this, giving us, our facts, getting our facts right. But this is one that, if you watched Intense TV, Tom had some comments about Dom turning on Shaw a little bit, and I think. Dom wants to teach Dom a little bit of a lesson, you know what I mean, for what has transpired between Dom and Shaw Mason, and I thought that these guys made some incredible memories, when they had that feud that culminated in Absolution a few years ago. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right. It was in the Mount Carmel era for sure. So it has been several years since they've crossed paths in at least an AIW ring in a singles match. And this is a little bit different territory, Dom's home turf in Akron. So, this one is just, another one that, it has been on an Absolution. So it kind of continues on that theme to where I think that this card is kind of like a mini Absolution card in a way.
I'm stoked for this one just because of, we've seen it already, but that it was so long ago that, Dom is a guy who, he's like a captain of the locker room. He's a guy that's been around AIW for, a while now, and he's looked at as, like an elder statesman in the AIW locker room or whatever. But I think he's learned a lot in the time that he wrestled Filthy the last time. And I feel like you could probably say the same for Filthy. The guy's been to Japan. Both of them have been to Japan. You know what I mean? They're doing work with other promotions. A lot of them have been out there doing their thing big time since the last match. So I think you're going to see something totally different this time. And I think it's going to be, a great match that we would expect from these two. A hard-hitting, great fight. I can't wait. I think these two are going to beat the piss out of each other.
Yeah, and Dom is, obviously has several more years of experience, and those nerves are probably long gone, unlike when he first, was getting in there with Tom. So yeah, I'm just I'm pretty excited for this one.
Going forward in the match, in the card, the next match, this is another one that's like, every time I read one off, it's like it could easily be an absolution match. We got Dex Royal versus Alec Price. What do you even need to say about this one? Two guys that have just came up very quickly in AIW and just do incredible shit in the ring. Huge personalities, huge, stars in this company, in this industry, quickly. I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, this is just this is probably the one I'm most looking forward to. I've, been very vocal. I think Alec Price is probably the best pound for pound independent wrestler, on the scene today overall. Just an immensely talented guy. And Dex Royal is kind of, a guy that's come out of nowhere. And, he's shown that he's willing to take high risks. He's super athletic. He was able to beat Speedball Mike Bailey. Just a guy with, just incredible raw potential, and I think getting him in there with somebody like Alec Price is only going to, bring that potential out, and force him to get better and force him to, bring his game up to Alec Price's level. Price is coming off a defeat from, Isaiah Broner, but, Alec Price is in AIW to stay, and he's got a lot to prove. And, this match is, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try to pretend that there's any storyline implications or anything in this match. Like, this is a match where I just wanted to see it. And I feel that, a lot of people that have been, following both their journeys in AIW, I think would agree that this is a match that needs to happen, and that's really all there is to it. It needs to happen because it's going to, more than likely, I'm not trying to jinx it, but more than likely it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like the perfect spot for it. Personally, they don't need a storyline at this point. They're both just super hot in this company, and they're both, this is a great show to have it on with all these other great matches. I just think it fits in perfect. Going forward in the card,
looking forward to this.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah, my computer keeps lagging out. Sorry. Going forward in the card, this is one. This story, talking about stories that have been going on for a little bit, we're going to see an absolute bloodbath in this one. We have a dog collar match between Derek Dillinger and Magnum CK. These two have been at each other's throats for quite a while here in AIW, and this one is going to be... it's going to be a bloodbath as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, initially this was to be a double dog collar match, with Katie and Derek versus Ziggy and CK, and obviously Ziggy has stepped away from wrestling for now. So we wanted to keep this on the same trajectory that it was headed to, and we're gonna just see Derek and CK do it singles. I think Derek is no stranger to things like this, and I think CK is he's still kind of finding his way back into independent wrestling, and I think that this is this is going to be the one that kind of it's like what's that quote? I think it's a Mike Tyson quote. It's like everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. You know what I mean? Like, I think, CK had a plan to return to independent wrestling until there's a dog collar around his neck. You know what I mean? And like, I think, at this point, it's the fun and games are over, and it's time to get serious. And I think, both of these guys are incredible, just fans of the history of pro wrestling. And I certainly see them going, above and beyond to make this, one of the most memorable dog collar matches in the company's history of AIW, which we've had several really, famed dog collar matches.
Yeah, some really great ones come to mind. But I think what you said, and it's time to get serious, is like the perfect phrase for it. And not that I don't think CK hasn't been serious to this point, but I just don't think in AIW he has seen the type of violence / like down and dirty get to business type wrestling that a dog collar match brings. I don't think it's above him or he's incapable of it. I don't mean it like that in any way. I just don't think since he's been back or prior to going away in AIW there was anything this really as dark on his card, in AIW. And Derek, we know that guy, he bleeds buckets. So I think he's ready and willing to do this one. I think Magnum is as well. I just don't think he's seen anything this, dark and sinister yet in AIW. And I'm very, very anxious to see how he handles this. Yeah, going forward.
And I think, both of these guys, not to pull back the curtain too much, but, obviously, there was a plan. There was, a direction we were going. We've had to kind of take a left turn, so to speak, and, bring it back together. And I think both of these guys have a ton to prove because there were other, there were other weaves and turns that we were, hoping to do that did not pan out. And I think they both want to go out and they want to put their stamp on this, and win, lose, or draw. I think they both want to kind of move past this and both kind of whoever wins, whoever loses, both, be elevated, one way or the other. I think that they have they both have a ton to prove. They have years and years and years of history with each other. Some good, some bad, and some in the middle. And I think that they fully intend to go above and beyond here, and if we got to see Magnum CK Dark, come out and show his face this Saturday, I don't think that there's anything that either of these guys won't do to try to steal the show.
I would absolutely love to see CK Dark. I think that would be the great. I'm sure that is some insane shit. I can't even wait because that man, he's a wild character for sure, and we've seen him do some incredible things. He's an incredible performer, and CK Dark, I can only imagine, is just legendary. Going forward in the card, we got an 8-man tag that I'm really excited for. We're going to see your intense champion, Eric Taylor, with his Cash is King boys. You got Money Shot, the tag champs, and the Duke with Cash is King versus Wes, Kaplan, and PME. This is going to be a wild ride, I'm sure.
Yeah, and this is going to kind of be a little preview for the Cybernetico De Mayo Trace. There's been a lot of speculation on the poster that dropped about a week ago, and it is going to be Team Taylor versus Team Barkley. Those are going to be the teams for Cybernetico. So I think both of these guys are kind of getting prepared a little bit for that Cybernetico coming up next month, and we're going to get a little preview here. This is just going to be a traditional 8-man tag, though, one fall to a finish. But I think we're going to get a little preview of what to expect of the Cybernetico.
Yeah, I think Wes is hungry, man. He wants it. I think Barkley Nation is chomping at the bit to get that intense title back. I know Wes has said since it happened, since he lost it, that he wants that title back. He's going to do anything he can to get it, and I know he's determined. So yeah, I can't wait to see these two cross paths. But then you got a lot, other implications in there. You got Money Shot, the current tag champs. You got PME, former tag champs, who definitely those four hate each other. And then you got the Duke and Kaplan. Maybe
we'll be seeing that. Maybe we'll be seeing that for the boots. You know what I mean? Who knows what's happening?
A lot of implications could come out of this one is kind of my point. I just feel like this is another match on the card that could easily, I know there's a lot of belt holders in this, so maybe you wouldn't see all 4 belt holders in the same match on an ABSO card, but this is another match that I just think would be, could fit in on an ABSO. This is going to be an incredible one.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of these guys are, certainly absolution talents, and, there's going to be future implications here, based on what happens. And, like I said, I think this is going to be a good preview for the Cybernetico, Team Taylor versus Team Barkley. And, maybe these guys will be on teams. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll make different selections. You just never know.
Right. Going forward, this is another one. I think this just kind of falls into, putting big time matches on cards that, isn't, an absolution or a gauntlet, but we're going to see Jason Bain face off against Joshua Bishop. This is a match that I think Josh has been thinking about for a very long time. Jason Bain is a guy that Josh looked up to, and saw when he was watching Cleveland All-Pro and he was a little kid, and this is something that he's wanted to square off against Bain for a long time now, and we're not making you wait for an absolution. We're putting this on the 420 show, and we're going to let you have it early because this card just top to bottom is just insane.
Yeah, I think Justin Summers tweeted "Absolution already?" ? I think everybody thought that this was one that they were going to have to wait until midsummer to see happen, and no, we're going to give it to you right now this Saturday. Let these guys get out there, and we're going to see if this is what Josh Bishop really dreamed of, and we're going to see if this is if Jason Bain really wanted to come back to independent wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there's pros and cons to both of their positions that are going to be sorted out one way or the other this Saturday.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm excited for this one as far as, we got to see Bain come out and kind of come to the aid of Prohibition in that match. Then they did the tag thing. Now we're going to get Bain in a one-on-one, versus Bishop, and that I'm excited for, just to kind of see Bain, because like I said, it's no secret I haven't been around AIW forever, so I didn't get to see, Jason Bain in Cleveland All-Pro or, in his earlier days, so I don't have as not as familiar with him, so I'm very excited to see him go one-on-one.
And I mean, it's a singles match is a lot different than a tag. Like Josh Bishop is also hurt, right? But he's also, been wrestling, still on that injury, still on the road, still, making his bookings, outside of AIW. So, there's just a lot of things going against each one of these guys, and a lot of positives, backing each one of these guys. This is by far a dream, a Northeast Ohio dream match for, it crosses so many kind of generations of fandom. that have come to independent wrestling, since, like Jason Bane is he broke into the scene in the late 90s, so, it just crosses so many different, eras of fans and just incarnations of Northeast Ohio independent wrestling. And I don't know how many people are still around from those days, but I know people like myself, people like Matt Wadsworth, people like Josh Prohibition, people like the Duke. We are all certainly going to be it's going to be a monitor sellout, or we're all going to be standing out there taking this in, because this is a match for people like us who saw Jason Bane, in all those years, and we've also seen Josh Bishop, from when he was, a little 18-year-old kid that signed up for the school. There's just a lot of, a lot of just amazing history that, for me, I am going to take every second of that to enjoy on Saturday and just, watch these guys go at it.
Oh yeah, it's going to be crowded behind me for sure. I mostly anticipate standing room only back there for sure. But I mean, that seems to be the way it goes for Josh Bishop matches. Kind of like you said, he's been working hurt. He's a detriment to himself. He refuses to take a night off. He's going to get out there. He's going to make his town. He's going to get his bookings. The guy is an absolute madman who's heading straight to the top of this business as far as I'm concerned. And him versus Jason Bane, a guy like a Cleveland legend like this, they're going to work their asses off, and I just can't wait to see. This is just going to be just absolute fucking mayhem in this one. I can't wait.
Yeah, and I mean, Bane is fully aware that this is what Josh Bishop wants, and I think, regardless of whether that's good or bad, I think Bane's going to give him every bit of Bane. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And, I think that that's just what makes this exciting. This is pro wrestling. This is just what's great about pro wrestling. There's just, like I said, I don't know how much this translates to the crowds or the people that come to AW now, but like for people like me who have just been around for so long, man, am I looking forward to Saturday in so many ways. Like this is a match that nobody ever thought would be possible. It sounds like cheesy or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, if you look at it from like a WWE lens, like this is like one of those like once in a lifetime things, that like you just never imagined was possible. And, obviously it's not, we are not the WWE. We do not have the marketing and all that stuff. But, for me, it is just like, this is just something I am so looking forward to seeing. And, I think it's going to be great for Josh. I think it's going to be probably equally as great and therapeutic for Jason Bane. I think these guys are going to get out there and they're going to get between those ropes and they're going to work their shit out. And, to me, that's what's great about pro wrestling.
Again, I don't know how. I don't envy your job of having to, to pace these out and schedule when you put these matches, because I don't know how you're going to do it. Because going forward,
I really don't either. Because I mean, like I said, before we started recording, and like I finally like looked at it all, and I just went, fuck, this show is loaded, and I know we're supposed to get on this podcast and we're supposed to pretend every show's loaded anyway, but like this show is like really fucking loaded, like I think every show is worth seeing, obviously, or else I wouldn't put it out there. But like this show, just more than anything, that I can think of in recent history, is just like seems so just like everything fell into place perfectly.
Yeah, there's just no filler matches whatsoever. Again, going forward, the headlining match, the main event of the night, your absolute champion, Isaiah Broner, The Problem, versus Big Sam Holloway. This is going to be just this is going to be intense. I can't wait. This thing is going to be absolutely insane. These two, have both been on a warpath in the last handful of shows, just, going crazy. And this one's going to close the show, I would imagine.
Yeah, this one's going to close the show, and a show that, is full of closers. And I don't envy these guys one bit, having to follow everything that's on this show. But, that's the burden you bear when you are the champ, right? And that is, I don't think that Isaiah Broner is going to think twice about having to close this show, to be perfectly honest. I think he enjoys the pressure. He enjoys all of it. He enjoys going out there and knowing that he is the man that is waving the flag for this company. And Sam Holloway, obviously, he's had shots at the title before and has come up short. Now he's in his hometown, he's in his home turf. Anyone that follows him on Twitter, he posted a photo of, when he had wrestled Isaiah, a year or so ago, and he posted a photo of him now. And if you haven't noticed, Sam Holloway has gotten himself in tremendous shape. He's dropped a ton of weight. He's just he's super lean right now, and he's moving much better. And I think that he really feels that this is his time on Saturday, and it very well might be. Nobody has really given Isaiah Broner much of a challenge since becoming champion. Since he defeated Matt Cardona, and maybe Sam is that challenge. I don't know. I don't know if Sam Holloway can win the big one this Saturday, because Broner has proven time and time again that he is virtually unbeatable.
I feel like he even said it. He had a chip on his shoulder over the last few shows, especially the last show, against Price. I feel like he thinks maybe people were kind of overlooking him, or just kind of thinking, he hasn't gotten a real test. And I think the last show he really proved that and put a stamp on it, that he is the man and the man to beat in this company. I think Sam has a huge hill to climb here. I think Sam is an incredible talent. Like you said, has dropped a ton of weight, came an extremely long way. I love Big Sam, but I think right now Broner is just on a path of just I don't want to say it. Sorry for cussing, but I think he's just on like a fuck you path. Like he intends to just murder everything in his path to show everyone and prove to everyone that he is the man. I think Sam is a great competitor, but he's going to have a tough time against Broner on Saturday, because I just think he is in a bad mood these days, and I would not want to be the guy that has to defend that.
Yeah, and I think when I almost framed it as if he was an underdog at Tougher Than Leather against Alec Price, I think Isaiah Broner took that personally. And,
oh yeah,
and to be honest, there was a little bit of method to my madness there, because Isaiah Broner has won with ease, right? And he's almost on cruise control. And I think just putting that little sense of doubt in his head, right? Like, I think just totally it's unfortunate for Price. It's unfortunate, for Sam Holloway this Saturday. But I think it just awoke something in Isaiah Broner that, my record doesn't speak for itself. Like, people think that somebody else can beat me. Like, let me, fuck you, fuck everybody who doubts me.
Right, and that's what I meant. Yeah,
he, it did put a chip on his shoulder, and sometimes you have to do that, because when you have a champion of the company, they know that they're a champion for a reason, and they almost, they lose that competitive edge in a way, and I think, honestly, just by us giving, Alec Price, a little bit of praise on this podcast, I think that just awoke something in him. You could see it if you go back and watch Tougher Than Leather on Triller Plus TV. It has just awoken something in Isaiah Broner. And, I think, unfortunately for Sam Holloway, that whatever needed to be reignited in Isaiah Broner is fucking burning white hot right now. And, I think he's got a ton to prove. And I think that, he's ready to, I think he's ready to be a hot knife through butter when it comes to Sam Holloway. And, I think he plans on making very short work of Sam.
Yeah, I don't think I won't say you lit a fire under him, because I think the fire was roaring. I think you dumped some gas on the fire, and now that fucker is going, because you can definitely see it. Like I said, I love Sam. I think that he's great. I think if anybody's got a chance to do it, it's Big Sam. I think he's an incredible talent, incredible performer. I just think Broner is on this he's on a warpath of just fuck everybody right now, and I would not want to be across from him.
Yeah, I think, there is, and you may be right, that fire fire may have always been burning, and it needed a little bit of gas because he may just run hot, and like I think that he has just made such short work of so many people. You know what I mean? Like who's beat him? Like I think like Minoru Suzuki's beat him, and maybe one other person in like the last 2 or 3 years.
Right.
So I just think that once you are just on a tear like that, like it's kind of easy to, for people to start going like, maybe he doesn't want it anymore, And, man, were we wrong? Because, he went out there and he had an incredible match with Alec Price. And, I think that, he is ready to prove, not only is he the man in AIW, but he wants to be the man everywhere. Like, that's the one thing is, it's one thing to want to be the man here in AIW or to want to, excel in this company, but this company is 1 or 2 bookings a month, and a guy like Isaiah Broner, he wants to have 30 bookings a month. He wants to be the man everywhere. He wants a contract. He wants, he wants to be able to support himself. He wants a full-time gig in this business, and I think that he certainly has every tool imaginable to achieve that. And I think that fire, that gasoline that maybe was needed was dumped, and I think that he's ready to really just fucking go and conquer the world. And unfortunately for Sam Holloway, I think he's just going to be another victim.
Yeah. I like I said, not counting him out at all. I just the fire that is roaring with Isaiah Broner, and we've seen it in promos. You saw it in the match. But hey, if there's anybody that I feel is ready for the challenge, I'm sure Big Sam is ready to take it on. So I can't say enough good things about this card. We got 9 matches of just 9 bangers. I don't envy your job, like I said earlier, of having to pace these out because it's going to be tough because there's just 9 matches of just pure insanity in front of me.
Yeah, I know, and it's just like you look at it and it's just like, oh, like this whole card is like a back half. You know what I mean? Like, and unfortunately, you can't. You know what I mean? You can't come out of intermission and have 9 matches. So it's just it is going to be tough. I don't know. The only thing I know is, Holloway and Broner is going to close the show. But other than that, I have no idea how this show is going to be paced, how we're going to, how we are going to, what we're going to open with, all that stuff. The science of pacing a card is going to certainly be put to the test in my brain when I try to map this thing out for Saturday. But I am extremely excited for the show. I think it is, bar none, one of the best cards that we've put together in quite some time, maybe ever. I don't know. It is an Absolution caliber card in my opinion, and I hope people come out and support it Saturday. Like I said at the top of the show, the ticket sales are certainly way down for an Akron show, and I'm hoping we see a big run this week, and we can pack that place because this card is going to so over deliver in my opinion. It has a little bit of something for everybody, and I'm just I'm honestly I'm really excited for it. Like I'm very hard to impress, even though I'm the one that's putting these shows together. It's very hard for me to kind of get excited about a lot of this stuff that we do, just because it's so routine, and it's just it's a different perspective for me. But when I look at this card, I'm just like, I cannot express enough how excited I am for it, because I just really think this is one of those instances where like all the pieces kind of fell together.
Yeah, I think that is true of this card and of this show in multiple ways. I mean, I know I don't want to harp on anything because I feel like maybe we talk about it enough on this podcast, but with some of the complaints of some of the other venues that we've had and yada yada, come on out, man. The Tadmor, free parking, plenty of free parking, concessions out the yin yang. They got friggin' brownie sundaes, for God's sakes, full bar. They have the full bar where they have the stream on the TV in the bar, so in case you have to go get a drink, you can still see the stream while you're getting your drinks and beverages, whatever, yada yada. I think the weather is supposed to be great. I think Stacy and Pam are gonna be out there grilling, and some people like that, the parking lot crew and everyone out there. So, I mean, there is no reason to skip this one. There's no reason not to come out this Saturday at the Tadmor Shrine. Have a great time. Come on out early. Like I said, I think people are going to be in the parking lot hanging out, tailgating. You know, the weather's supposed to be good. The card is unbelievable. You got Ultramantis Black coming back. You know, we got dog collar match, 2 out of 3 falls, all kinds of gimmick matches. You know, what's not to come out for?
I agree. I mean, I'm just, I think the whole vibe of AIW is going to be on full display, especially like you said, Pam and Stacy are trying to get a tailgate going throughout the day, get people hanging out. I know that Saturday is considered a holiday for some. I think there's going to be plenty of people celebrating throughout the day at the tailgate and throughout the show and intermission and all that. Obviously, if you get a little hungry, the concessions are unmatched at the Tadmor Shrine.
No doubt.
Full bar, cheap bar, cheap alcohol. Kaplan's going to have his jerky for sale at intermission. I mean, I don't know what else you can ask for. I think this is going to be, as long as the people come out, it's going to turn out to be a really incredible day.
To me, this is like a absolutely perfect AIW experience that's not like a full-on like ABSO or like Gauntlet, or like one of the big shows that we do, you know what I mean? Like this with the card, it could be an ABSO, and with everything that's going on, like you said, it's a great venue. Everyone loves Akron. The sight lines are great. There's plenty of seating in there. The general admission seating on those bleachers is great. There's not a bad seat in the house. I literally, there's not a single complaint, I could think of, for this show. So come on out. Come see us this Saturday at the Tadmor. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't say it better myself. I think that's a perfect way to wrap it up. I don't know if we have questions or anything, but
we didn't put anything out there. You and I just kind of jumped on here. We didn't really throw anything out question wise. As far as I think, maybe the only real question, like I said, maybe the Ultramantis thing, but we don't know. So just come on out and find out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I'll try to find out. If he plans on merching up and meeting people on Saturday. I would think he would. He was always pretty known for a strong merch game. But I'm like I said, this deal came together pretty quick, and I'm just thankful and happy that he's agreed to it, and he's coming out, and whatever he chooses to do after that is what he chooses to do.
Last time I saw him, he had yard signs, like political yard signs that said, "Don't blame me, I voted for Mantis." And I got one that's in my front yard right now, so can't wait. Funny. Yeah, oh yeah, super great.
He had this awesome shirt that I remember from years ago. It was like a Singing in the Rain shirt, and it said Ultramantis Black. It was like, I can picture it in my head right now. And that's the thing. He's always been a guy that did like limited merch runs and things like that. So I don't know what he's going to have, but if he has stuff, I'm sure it's certainly a limited quality or limited quantity, and it's always high quality. Everything he does. So just come on out. Ultraman. I mean, the whole friggin' card is so stacked. But if you are a longtime fan of independent wrestling, you know how rare it is to see Ultramantis Black and Hollow Wicked tagging up in the year 2024.
Can't wait, man. Pump the cradle of filth, that's for sure. Well, that's going to do it for me, for John Thorne, for AIW. Come see us this Saturday at the Tadmor Shrine. Bell time 7:30, doors 6:30. We'll see everyone this Saturday. Thanks.